Hello, I'm Micks Mowers and Mower Man, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, it's also my little rambunctious Riley boy.
Daddy annoying me.
Daddy is annoying today. Today's the first day of summer holidays, and we're off out on the mower hunt to go and find an Atco bound Mower 17SK, which I found on Facebook Marketplace for really, really strong money. But I was able to knock him down because the lawnmower is not in very good, aesthetically pleasing condition to the eye. The paint is faded. The cylinder just looks worn, as in dirty. The front roller is not very clean either, and it just wants a little bit of elbow grease, spit and polish to bring this mower back up to where it should be. It's got the Kawasaki engine on it, so we're super happy with that. And what I'm going to do is get this lawnmower back once I've purchased it, and then I'm going to remove the cassette straight out of the lawnmower, and then take the cassette apart so that the cylinder is ready for sharpening. So if you've got an Atco bound Moral or a Crowcast, or even one of the Alec Kensingtons, and you want to know how to take the cylinder apart so that you can take it off for grinding, then this would be the video for you. Once we've taken the cylinder apart, it'll go off to my very good friend Lawnmower Jones up in Chichester. He's got his own lawnmower servicing business, and it's Lawnmower Jones Garden Machinery or Garden Lawnmower Repairs. Go and check him out. He's in Chichester, back in the Chai. So if you want your cylinder sharpened and bed knife looked at, then Lawnmower Jones is the man for you. I'll try and leave a link in the description of his YouTube channel and also his business there as well. So if you want your lawnmower sharpened in the West Sussex area, go and check him out. I think he charges around about £2 an inch plus of that, something like that. So we'll get this lawnmower back home, and then we'll get the cylinder out, get the bed knife off, get it all painted up, and then take it off to Lawnmower Jones to be looked at. He'll diagnose whether or not if the bed knife is in a sharpable condition or not. I might have to buy a new bed knife for it. We'll have to wait and see. And then whilst it's away at the grinders, we'll come back and we're going to spray all the cassette parts up so they're nice and black and all the rest of it, so they look really, really good. And then in between all of that, we're going to be doing repolishing the front roller, taking all the cowling off, spraying all the cowling up, because there's a few bits and pieces on there that need to be touched up to bring it up to where it needs to be, and that way you can then ask what you want to ask for the machine later on. But this machine just looks tired, and I really, really believe it's not that tired. I think it's just been left outside in the sun, and the sun has bleached it. So there's a lot of spraying to be done on this machine, but if we get it all done, then this machine will look an absolute £1,000,000 when you hit it with that clear lacquer, that petrol resistant lacquer. Oh man, it's going to pop. So that'd be good. So just trying out my new DJI mic system. My Rode Wireless Go decided to muck about, and Riley boy is tapping his microphone. He's super happy with it, aren't you, Riley? Yeah, that's my mic. Yeah, everyone can hear that. Riley's quite happy because now he's got his own microphone that he can shout down. He's quite happy with that. I only had the Rode Wireless Go first version. That was playing up. There's nothing wrong with it now. I believe it to be a lead issue, but I have paid out for the new DJI Action Free Cam, and also the new DJI mic setup as well. So I'm super happy with both. So I may be getting rid of my Rode Wireless Go microphone. I might just sell it on. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I've had it a few years and it's performed faultlessly. But I do quite like this DJI mic setup. So let us know what the audio is like and what the camera is like visually with the new DJI Action Cam 3. So that's what we're doing. Off to Roundstone, pick up this Atco bound Mower 17SK, get it back, get it stripped down, get it ready for the paint shop and grinding. And then what I do, I'll also take you along with me to go and see Mr. Lawnmower Jones himself. As I say, he has got his own YouTube channel called Lawnmower Jones. We're trying a bit of recording in his shop to see him set up the cylinder and what have you. Try and get, he might get it done on the day, I don't know, he may be too busy. But he's also got a part for me for my Suffolk Corporation mower. He's got the 90-degree angle for the airbox carburetor too, so he's given me that as well. So that'd be good. So yeah, lots to do, lots to pick up. So first day of summer holidays, and then this afternoon, Riley, what are we doing this afternoon?
Jacuzzi.
We're going in the jacuzzi. Yes, we are. We've got 35 degrees in the jacuzzi hot tub. Nice pint of beer. You can have a squash. You're not having the beer. And we'll have a nice afternoon in the jacuzzi because the sun is out. So it's going to be a lovely day today. So if this is your first time in watching Micks Mowers and Mower Man, then hit the subscribe button, whack the old bell.
Ding!
That's not a ding, that's a dong. That way you'll be told next time we'll have another video. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. Let's go and pick this Atco barrel mower 17 SK up, and then we'll get it all stripped down and then get it sent off to my very good friend Lawnmower Jones. Right, so another fantastic day. Just got the 17 SK out of the old shed. Mrs. P and Nana are over there sunbathing. There they are. Right, Nana? Yeah, they're all sunbathing away, looking gorgeous. Mrs. P got white bits. See the white bits from here, Mrs. P. So we're going to be in a hot tub later on. I just changed the water on that. It was a bit murky. So update the hot tub. Done that, of course. Another day. Nana's pants are out on the line. Look, there they are. Nana's pants. Nana, what are your pants doing out on the line? What? Your pants are out on the line again. Yeah. Why is it you feel the need to put your pants out on the line when I do videos?
Because I didn't know.
Hey? You didn't know? All right, so. Right, they're sunbathing. We'll leave them to it. They're relaxing. So, yeah, 17-inch Atco barrel mower SK version, Kawasaki, which is the one that everyone likes, right? Who've got an Atco barrel mower. Let's bring out my sun a bit, actually, because it is just a little bit shady just where we are here. Let's bring it out into the sunlight. So the bloke sold it to me, fully running, blah, 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 which I'm happy with, but it's not as fully running as I would like. It wants a darn good clean, and it wants a bit of the old Micks Mowers touch pot on it, because it is just a little tiny bit dirty, but not a lot. But it has got a very, very slight hunt and surge to it as well. Now I'll show you what I mean. Not been fired up today, so on the start, turn that on, give it a pull, and it starts straight up, no doubt. Right, so it starts, take it off choke. Now the way you can tell that these Kawasaki's are not quite right is when you idle them, they'll either cut out, like that one does, okay, or it wants choking to start it, that's another sign. Or when you go from idle, so just bring it down a touch, just before it starts to cut out, about there, got a little tiny hunt, and when you push it up to go to full throttle, they don't particularly like it. There's a delay, and it cuts out. So that way I know there is actually a fuel delivery problem with this machine. But it all runs as it should do, but I have got to sort out the carburetor. So I want a carburetor clean, water trap cleaned out. I want a new pull cord as well. I want a new spark plug, new air filter, all that sort of stuff. And I've got videos on how to service these machines. So check out my playlist on cylinder mowers. You'll find it in there somewhere, an Atco barrel mower or a Quocast with a Kawasaki, how to service them. I've got videos on all of those. But what I want to do today is I want to take out the cassette. Now the cassette itself doesn't look too bad, right? But if you ever want to have a really nice machine, out of the way, Pip, then what you want to do, out of the way, dog, what you want to do is make sure that, oh, that turned on, no, is make sure that the cylinder not only looks good, but is sharp. And this cylinder, it's okay, but it doesn't look good. And I would say it's not even touching the bed knife. There's a hunt and surge. So I don't think that's even touching the bed knife. It's not cutting very well either. So let's see, look, it's just not happy. Let's get the cylinder out, and I'm going to take the cylinder apart, and then we'll present that to my mate Lawnmower Jones, and hopefully he can get it all sharpened up. And before I put it in for sharpening, we give it a nice coat of red paint, so when he does sharpen it and put it back in, it'll look absolutely lush. We're also going to paint the cylinder of the front roller as well, give it a good sand off and spray that with some kind of zinc alley paint, make that look nice. Good old type all over. I've got some Atco paint, I might get a bit of an Atco paint as well, just to tidy it right up and look pretty then. So let's get this in the shed and we'll get the cylinder out, and we'll go from there. Okay, 17 SK now up on a bench. You may be getting a bit of noise. I've got my fan on. It's about 110,000 degrees in here at the moment. I don't know what temperature it is, but how warm is it in the shed? 25.3 degrees in here. She's warm. Right, SK up on the bench. First thing I want to do is just remove the HT lead off of a spark plug up the top. And that just sort of guarantee the machine don't want to start up. Okay, move it out of the way. Spin the machine round. And I want to take the cassette out. So the first thing is to remove the 4 bolts, or how many there are on this machine. Sometimes there's 4, sometimes there's less. So we'll remove those, just so we can expose the side, because you have to remove those to remove the cutting cylinder, because there's a white gear in here. And without the side cover being taken off, it never happened. So as you can see, the cylinder doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look shocking, right? But when you want a real nice looking machine, you want that cylinder to look absolutely crisp, right? If it looks really, really crisp, then it just shines, right? So take that all off. It looks a bit used in here. She's a bit used, but nothing we can't handle. Lots of debris in here and bits and pieces, but it all looks to be good. Nothing's worn. Been a bit of belt decay. I might put a new set of belts on this as well. The belts are a bit old. There's a little tiny pin just here. Try and pull that pin out. If the pin comes out, you're on a winner. And then just literally give that arm a bit of a look up in the air, and that will then release the front bar, which holds your basket on. And there's a little tiny Allen bolt just here. Loosen that one, and one perpendicular other side. Loosen that one. Good, mine nice and loose. That's good. And don't attempt this with the HTD wire on, guys, okay? Because you're right near that cylinder. We don't want no broken fingers here or missing digits. So loosely undo them. Now what we're going to do, once we send this off to my mate up in Chai, Lawnmower Jones, we're then going to take this all apart and spray this up nice and black, so it all matches, all ties in, so it all looks gorgeous. And I'll be taking the front roller off as well, sanding that down, and then we give it a nice spray with some. I was watching a video called the Mower Boy. He does Atcos as well, and he sprays it with a zinc alloy called No Nonsense zinc alloy. So it makes it look really, really nice, makes them stand out and pop. So with your 2 bolts been removed either side, right, you can then, with the side panel removed as well, also that's got to be removed off this side, you can then get hold of your cassette, and it should jump out, but sometimes there can be a bit of a pickle. So push it in a bit, out a bit, in a bit, out a bit, and they come out. But as you can see, they collect so much dirt up inside here and grass, where people just don't clean them, and that's where half the problems come. See, so that all wants cleaning out. But we're going to remove the mower off a stand now. I'm just interested in the cylinder only. Let me get the mower outside. I will remove the front roller later. They're not hard to do. There's only just a bolt here, one bolt here, one bolt on the other side. Just undo them when they come off. So they're no biggie. We give that a tie a bit later on. But my main interest is actually the cylinder. Okay, so we're back. So first thing to do would be remove this white gear off of here. White gear off of here. And you see that cylinder's it's barely touching. Barely touching. So you want an impact socket works best. Okay, you can use hand tools. And all you want to do is put a rubber mallet handle inside the cylinder just to lock it off. You don't get no fingers in here. And then put your socket on the end of that. And then whiz that off. Now they can be on there quite tight. And sometimes they want a little tiny breaker bar on them. Okay. Whip that off, and that will be left hand thread on there. So to put it on, you loosen it. To take it off, you tighten it. Okay. So that gear looks pretty good. No qualms with that there. Bit of an air compress off, bit of a clean up, and then to remove your bed knife, use the same Allen key bit that is used to remove the cylinder itself. Same Allen key bit can go into here and just start to loosen off your bed knife. Lovely. Just loosen off to begin with, because these are held in by a few springs and bits and pieces here. I'm going to loosen that one off because there'll be a nut on the other side of this. There's one there, and there'll be a nut, as I say, just on the inside, just up in here. So that's just dropped out. I'll fetch the nut in a minute. That one there. loosen that off. That's that one out. And they go in like that, you see, that's how they go in. They're sort of tapered and ambidextrous, you can't get them wrong. That'd be a bed knife off, that comes off lovely. There's a little bit of wear on there, but hopefully we can get away with it. And inside here would be your nut, just inside here. There's a nut either side. I can see it from here, so it looks like a locking nut, but they'll pop out. If you get a bit of a tap, they will come out eventually, but they're in there, but we'll get to that in a bit. So turn the machine of the scarifier over, okay, and we want to get a Phillips screwdriver, because all of this is going to be sanded down and tidied up. Okay, spray up nice, satin black, they look lovely. Got some little self tappers here, hopefully they come undone. There's 4 of those to do. Keep all your bits and bobs together. Hopefully get no problems and they all come out okay. Something that one. There it goes. And 2 the other side. Oh, give it me. They've been in there a while, they have. Probably since day 1, to be fair. But by the time I sand all this down and then spray it with satin black and then lacquer it all up, it's going to look absolutely $1,000,000. Look really, really good. Right, that's that done. Then we get a little tiny parts tray. Spilt a bit of oil whilst I've been yakking to you lot. Just clean that up. I've got a brand new lift table. I don't really want to have oil all over it. I get a tiny bit of parts tray because this is going to be a part for a little while. Whilst it's away at my mates. I put all my bits and bobs. 1, 2, 3. I only got 3 screws, 4 screws. Move the gear and the 2 bits to remove a cylinder. Put them in a parts tray. Your deflector plate comes out, and then you've got little tiny nuts, bolts up in here. Give a quick bit of a blow off. I think it's about a 10 or 12 mil up in here. I've got a 10 ready. Get 10. And we're going to remove one of those. Now go careful because this is aluminium into steel, so if you find out that it's only going so far and it stops and tightens up, then just tighten it back up again. Right, and then go back again. Bit of lubrication for the nation. And just start to loosen that off. Right, come apart there. Nearly there. And you have one on the other side as well. The cylinder will start to come out. There it goes. Right, so the cylinder's jumped out that side, and over the other side, you've got a bearing in there. Now, if you wish to change your bearing, you can. But just a simple test is if your bearing's seized or not. Is just to give it a good clean up, right, all round, and then just put your finger in there and give it a turn, and that bearing feels absolutely fine. Now, if it isn't, you can't extract from the other end, so you need to get a bearing puller in there to remove that bearing. Now I've got some bearing pullers, but to be fair, that bearing seems fine. What you can do, let me just show you what I'm on about. There is my bearing puller kit. I've got one. I know I have. Let me try and find it for you. It's under my bench here somewhere. Let me find it. I'll come back to you. So let's just say your bearing is actually seized, okay, and you can't, and it's all broken in there and seized out, no good. What you can do is get your bearing puller, put that in, sit it all the way in, and then do up this little kiddie here. Do that one up with a couple of adjustables. Yeah. 1, 2. Put an adjustable on here, and one on here, and then close that up. And that will start to splay out the end of a bearing puller. Lots of people, they sort of move these machines on a bit and they don't even check the bearings. They say, oh, cylinder's been sharpened or whatever. That's fine, but unless you're actually checking the bearings, and the bearings are so easy to change. That's taking the slack up now. It's starting to go. So I'll tighten that right up. So that's splayed the end of a bearing out, a bearing puller out. Right. So before you want to pull this bearing out, give it a darn good soak and a bit of a clean up. It is really, really dirty in here. You want to then just back off this this tensioner on here. Okay. So just slide that off, and that will relieve the tension off of this bracket. If you don't do that, then you're going to lose bits and pieces. It'll jump out. It is under a bit of tension, that is. It's a bit like a suspension on a car. So loosen that off. There it comes. I got it. And that'll come out. You've got a spring in there with a little tiny plastic plate on the bottom to protect it. That sits on there. And then you've got a little tiny plastic collar up on here, which sits on there. Then you can do away with that now. And then that just literally leaves you with your bearing ready for extraction there. And all you want to do then is put that into a vise just to hold it, and then just pull that bearing out with your slide hammer, and that bearing will pop straight out. Now, as it goes, my bearings are actually good on here, so I don't need to do them. So that's all you do. Put that in a vise, pin it down, and then slide that up. And that would bring the bearing out, okay? Quite simple. So if you want to see me do that, I can do that now for you. All right, so over here on the in the vise, I'm literally just going to take up the slack. I'm not squeezing that a lot, just taking the slack up, okay? And then start to lift it up, and out comes your bearing. It's as simple as that. It really isn't that hard to do, okay? Once your bearing is out, you can then read the number on the side of the bearing. And if you want, I can also get you a number for it right now. Save you guys looking. So, just take the bearing out, and on the side wall of the bearing, you'll find numbers. And on here, the number for that looks to be 6202EEJ30. And it is also a FM2 SNR. Okay, so there's your code for that. Now, once you've done that, I sort of take this clamp back off with my two adjustables. But you have got to buy yourself like a bearing compression, a bearing tool. But there are other ways of doing it. But I just bought a tool because I do quite a lot of these, and it's quite handy to have a slide hammer. You can make a tool. They're not hard. Even a thin two-jaw puller would probably do it as well. So it's all about just making tools and doing something that works. So that's what it's all about. So let me just remove this bearing tool off of the bearing. There it is there. So there's my bearing. As I say, these bearings are good. There's nothing wrong with these. They're good bearings, okay? No, nothing, they run nice and good. Right, so then what we'll do is remove your housing, throw that over, put it in like that, and then literally with a small hammer, this is perfect. We're going to just level that down. Now I'm going to grab the same socket that I used to remove the big white gear, 24mm. Run that down. That's it. That's in. That's well seated all the way around, and the bearing still spins. So that's exactly what you want. Easy peasy. Okay, so on the adjacent side to the cylinder, to the white gear, the opposite side to the white gear. So this, as you look at the mower, this will be on the left-hand side. This will be the other side. As you see, there's a bearing in there. It runs absolutely beautifully. Nothing wrong with that bearing at all. There's a little, when you take it apart, there's a little tiny collar that just sits in there like so. Okay, so the whole lot then with this little tiny collar here, that all goes into there as one, and then that collar sits in there like that. So make sure that you don't lose that bit there either. Okay, then your cylinder can come out. All them bits and bobs are going to be petrol bath, cleaned up, sorted out, greased up, looking gorgeous. I haven't lost no bits, no bobs, I don't think. No, that's it. And then that way your cylinder can now be presented to the company that is actually doing. There's a little tiny bracket that side there as well. There's a little plastic bit and a few little washers and bits and pieces on there. So just remember where all your bits go. Now's the time to tidy your cylinder up. There's a big spring that goes on this end here, guys. Big spring, and that sits in there like that. Okay, that's on the gear side. Okay, that'll go over one side as well, and that's it. That's your cylinder ready for your bloke to go and look at. So just remember when you put it back in your long shaft bit, that is a bit that goes on the left hand side of the front of the mower and not the other side. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now what I'm going to do is this will go off to my mate Lawnmower Jones, and I'm going to take you along with me to go and get this looked at and tied. I'm going to give it a quick sand down, a quick spray paint with some red spray paint. Make it look spanking so that when it's been sharpened, goes back on, it'll look £1,000,000. So that's the idea. Let me get that done now, and I'll show you what it looks like in a little while. And all the rest of it, I'm going to take apart, and this will all be sanded down and sprayed with a nice satin black, including the back shield as well. All that sort of stuff. It will all be sprayed looking lovely. We'll go from there. So the next time you see this cylinder, it will be up at my friend Lawnmower Jones. I'm going to get booked in, get it sharpened up. Hopefully he will sharpen it whilst I'm there, and we can have a good chat and a laugh and a joke. See how it's professionally done, because he does it professionally. He's not an amateur like me. He's a professional guy, and he does the cylinders and the bed knives as well. So stay tuned. I'll take it over to my mate Lawnmower Jones, and we're going to get this sort of cylinder sharpened up. So I'm looking for a guy called Lawnmower Jones.
You got the wrong place.
Wrong address.
Wrong address.
Do you know how far I've travelled? Don't get involved with him. It's funny you say that,
He's bad news.
because I have heard similar rumours about not getting involved with a man.
They're right. They're all true.
Apparently he's trustworthy.
Where'd you hear that?
On YouTube somewhere. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. You?
Yeah, good to see
Cup
you.
of tea?
Love a cup of tea.
Right,
Got some machines. Hi, honey.
Yeah, that's patina.
Hi, Patina. What a lovely patina you have.
He's a sweetie, isn't he?
I am.
So, do you think I should? Would it be unreasonable for me to charge you for the dust?
How much is the dust?
You're in West Sussex.
Oh, not in Surrey, where are we? It's a different type of dust in Surrey.
Is it?
Is that a 17 inch?
Let's have a look. I don't know. Is that
Oh.
17? I wouldn't know 17 inch, but.
Well, we'll
that-
see.
yeah.
So what you're saying is, he's saying that my bottom blade is just on the limits where we can't grind that, aren't we?
No, we are.
Yeah, too far gone.
And
So-
that's sort of what we're looking at. Look at the meat on that.
What, the blade or? Yeah. So what we're going to do is,
This is a family show, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
I'm going to nab his blade. He's going to give me that, but I'm going to go and buy another one to replace it later on. And then the cylinder. That looks all right, actually. It's not too bad, is it?
It looks good.
It looks okay.
I think so.
So that wants a tiffle.
It does.
What we call a tiffle?
A tiffle, a little regrind.
Right, tiffle me up then.
Yep, and we do that, and then we sharpen this up new bottom blade here.
Because it's important, guys,
It is.
to not just do your cylinder. People just think, get your cylinder sharpened and leave the bed knife as is. Not true, is it?
No, you can't.
Can't do it.
No, it's like
So-
a pair of scissors.
So even if you get a brand new bed knife, you should get that ground as well. You shouldn't just offer that to that. It's not right.
No.
So
And it's
information.
all about standards, isn't it?
We have standards.
We work to very high standards.
Very high
we
standards.
do. We do.
Right, where
So
we go?
there we go. We're just going to put this in the grinding room. Let's
Right.
pop that there, and you're going to tell me how soon you need it, Mick.
You tell me what you're looking at.
If I try and do it for the weekend,
That's lovely.
Is that okay?
That's perfect.
That's good. So we'll
So you got all your stuff in here.
We got all the stuff in there. That is, I think you probably, I'm sure the viewers have seen it. That's the
Yeah.
Express Dual cylinder grinder.
Lovely,
So that does your cutting cylinders.
lovely. And what angle do you cut? Do you grind for that? Roughly.
It's set. The stone is set.
Yeah.
There's no angle on that. It's just set.
Okay.
The angle on the bottom blade is obviously, you can set that on this bottom blade grinder. You can alter the angle on that.
So what do you think about people who just put a angle grinder to a cylinder?
Oh,
I've seen videos of it, right? People with hand files. I've seen videos, and so many people say, you know, it's been sharpened, and you know you can quite clearly see it hasn't been sharpened correctly. You would recommend putting it onto a lathe,
Yeah.
getting it done right,
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
the bed knife as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So it's all exactly right. So when you offer those two together,
Yeah.
and you get the nice contact, you get that crisp sound.
You do, yeah. It's a scissor action.
It's a scissor.
And it will cut. That's all there is to it.
Cuts paper.
Cuts paper, should cut paper. So you know it's done.
Right, so Mr. Jones is going to do my cylinder for me.
Yep.
And I've got to go and buy a new bed knife because we'll do a swap because mine was knackered. And then, yeah, weekend.
Good, yeah, weekend. Good.
Now, will we have biscuits on the weekend?
I don't know. You might have to bring them this time.
Whoa.
You might have to bring
He
them.
wants me to buy the dust. Yeah, he gives me biscuits, and now he wants me to buy the dust and all. Outrageous.
I'll supply the tea, you do the biscuits. How's that?
Okay, so if you haven't already met my friend, Mr. Lawnmower Jones, he's based over here, where are we? Back end of Chichester.
We are. We're near We're Funtington. That's where we are
That's
here.
the posh end of Chai. So in Funtington, Chichester, check out Lawnmower Jones on Google for all your lawnmower repairs. Absolutely fantastic. And also, you are a YouTube celebrity, so I hear.
Well, no, you've jacked my numbers up thanks to you. Yes, we've got all sorts looking at
That
them.
may not be a good thing.
Do you not think so?
You may regret that later
Really?
on.
I've got that to look forward to.
Mate, it is weird. Also, Lawnmower Jones is a member of the Old Lawnmower Club as well. Just had your AGM, I see.
Yeah, we did. It was good. And we're hoping you're going to come at some point because
I will try.
I believe you've got a few vintage mowers yourself.
Oh, reminds me, 90-degree Suffolk Corporation exhaust manifold.
The exhaust manifold or the
90-degree. Oh, sorry.
The elbow. You're talking about the elbow for the air filter.
Apparently they're a bit few and far between.
They are.
I did hear someone has one for me.
They do, and it's at home. So
so weekend.
Yes, weekend. I will bring it, and then we'll make sure you've got an elbow for your carburettor.
That'd be nice. So I want to get that up and running this year again and get my lawn cut with it.
You should.
So I've got a few vintage bits and pieces. Mr. Jones has got too much, and you're on about selling some of yours to upgrade.
Just well, not upgrade, but just maybe the doubles.
Maybe the doubles.
Need
more room. So thank you very much, Mr. Jones. He's going to do my cylinder and bed knife for me. That'll go on to the 17 SK a bit later on. I might bring it back at the weekend just to see what it all looks like. Then we'll present it to the cylinder and we'll be good to go. Thanks very much for the tea.
Excellent. That's all right. You're welcome.
And
a pleasure as always. And my biscuits.
Yeah. I'll bring them next weekend. See you later on. Okay, so it's a couple of days later on, and I have just come back from my very good friend, Mr. Lawnmower Jones. I have painted these components all up, so they're all now done, looking very, very nice indeed. Got a bit of a masking tape just to remove off of that sticker there. So they're all done. Looks lovely. So he's sharpened the bed knife, or sorry, he's profiled the bed knife is a better word. Profiled the bed knife to the cylinder and what have you. So now, look at that cylinder. Look at that. That's lush. Absolutely super happy with it. Okay, so Mr. Jones, you have outdone yourself. It looks absolutely beautiful. So now starts the process of putting it all back together. So I'm going to start off with this part here like this, and I just want to run that screw out the way. So it's just like so. Let me bring it in just a smidge. So we want our bearing, and this has got a little plastic bit up on here. See that there? That's not actually part of it. That will actually come off, okay? And they're all pretty much ambidextrous, top and bottom, left and right, okay? So you can't really get them round the wrong way. It doesn't really matter. So you have a little tiny skirt on one end of these, which looks a bit like that, okay? And that little tiny skirt is going to go on the end of that little tiny bolt, just like so. Then this little tiny plastic bit, that needs to go up the top also. So sit that in. That's going to go into there, because there's a little tiny niblet just there, where that's got to sit in place. So make sure you get them lined up, because that hole's got to line up inside there. Push that down a bit more, just so it seats in. Once it seats in, then you push that back. And then get your spring. Spring can sit down in there like so. And grab a decent flathead screwdriver. And then just run that down just until it starts to take a little bit of tension, just so it holds it all in place. And you better feel it once it starts to bite down. Try to pick it out. Yeah, it's still too loose. Let's get in there. Just run it down. A bit more. Right, that's about right. Yeah, lovely. Right, so that's one. Put that over there, and then grab your second one, which is here. Turn him over. This has already got the skirt on my one here, and I want a little tiny collar to go on, and my spring, and the bearing bracket itself. Now, if it's too tight, just back this one out of the way. That way. And the bearings were fine. The bearings weren't an issue. Just going to squeeze that down to place. Push that down just so it takes it where it needs to be. Here it is there, lovely. Level it up. And then run that home just so it just keeps hold of it. It'll be about there somewhere. So happy with that. Now don't forget, I did say about the nuts for your bed knife. They're situated just in there, see? So let me get a bit more organised and I'll come back to you in 2 seconds. Right, so I'm going to put in mine, I've taken the nuts out, and I'm going to put in mine some brand new nylon lockers, which have just gone in around the wrong way. I'm only going one way round. Just slide them in like that. So I'll have one in each, because the other one's just a bit worn. So we'll put some new ones of those in. There we go. Lovely job. That's that. Now I just want to start to put this cylinder together, and the best way to do it is to start one end and then build it around it like that. So let me get all set up. I'll be back to you in 2 seconds. Right, to rebuild your cylinder, there's several ways in which you can do it, and just do whatever works for you. But you've got this little tiny spring here, and this plastic collar goes that way like so, sits on the end of the cylinder like so. The one with the threaded end, that's the one with your white gear goes on a bit later on. And the plates you have, the end plates, one will have no hole in it, and one will have a hole in it. Now, one that has a hole in it, that's one that goes up against your white gear over here. And just sits nice and flush like so. And then you have your other side, which you got over the top of all that and sit on this little tiny bearing just here, that just sitting there like so. And then you've got to line up your bolt at the back. Now I'm going to put my little tiny 10mm bolt in, which will be that one there, and that goes round the back to hold that rod in place. Now all I'm going to do with that is just going to line it up and just going to start that off, just so it's got it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Let me grab a 10mm short extension, 10mm socket, and all I'm going to do is actually just start that off. Just so it just takes it, it'll just hold that part of the cassette together. He says as he tries to get it to work in. Yeah, it's got it. Yeah, it's got it. Right, I'm just going to put about 3 or 4 threads in that. That's all. No more, no less. Okay, so that's got that part of the cylinder. Next thing to do is you've got your 2 little tiny nuts here to put in just around the back here, which will hold on to your bed knife. So I replaced mine, didn't I? They keep falling out, but they do that. Then grab your bed knife, and it'll only go on one way. If you've got wells underneath yours, that's because it's the right way up. It goes on, looks like that with a big bump. It's upside down. So that then offers onto here like that. Now grab your bed knife brackets, put your finger around the back so you can just feel a little tiny nut, offer that in, and just turn it enough just so it catches that one nut. Once it's bitten it, stop. Well, that's enough, that's got it I think. Yeah, that's got that one. Then transfer around to the other side. We'll try and push this all in place so we don't lose no bits, and we're going to push this together best we can. Be quite a tight old fit, guys, because it is trying to fight you. You might pay just to tip it up onto its end and have it in that way. That way you can just put a bit of downwards force on it. Other way up, Mick, actually, because there's no hole the other side. I don't know what I was thinking of there. That way up, like that. And that way, it'll all sort of crumble up together. So, we're roughly where we need to be. Where's my nut gone? Little tiny, there's my one for me. for me bed knife. I'll go in, here it is, go in the back and put your little tiny nut in the back here. Just sit him in. That's tipped up the wrong way. That's perfect. And get your bed knife bolt, slide it into place, find the hole, which I can't see. Pay attention now, man. Push it all together. You're just trying to find it so it lines up on the hole. I don't think we're that far out. How far out are we? No, we're there. Push that in, and again, just start that one rolling, hold the nut behind, and start that one rolling. Just square it up best you can. You might have to bring it to the edge of the table just so you can get a decent Allen bolt just to hold it. Let me bring it around about there. Move the blade out of the way, and just hold that little tiny nut up, and then start to do that up. Let's tip that bolt back a bit. There you go, that's better. Have that. Oh no, tip the wrong way again. Eventually, just take it, just bite it, and it'll find it. And it can just be a little bit fiddly. Right, somewhere there. I think that's got him. Yeah, do that up, nice and gently to begin with, just so you take a bit more slack up now, because now we're starting to get it all together. So see how slack it all is. We don't want to do it up too tight because we want to put the back plate on next. Okay, so let me lay the cylinder down and put the back plate on. Okay, we're now round the back of the cylinder itself, and we now also want to fit this on around the back, and it goes on just like so. Okay, now these fins here, these go at the top. Okay, and it sits in like that. Now you can see how much we need to come in yet. Okay. I'm just going to start off with a Phillips screwdriver. Just going to start to put two in very loosely, one side. So I've over two little Phillips. Just going to start them off. One, two. And don't forget you've got to put this little spacer on yet as well. That's got to go on yet. That goes on where the white gear cog goes. Yep. I must say I did get some rather nice selection of biscuits over at Lawnmower Jones. If ever you have your lawnmower serviced at Lawnmower Jones's, you always get a nice biscuit whilst you wait. We had chocolate digestives this morning. I had a nice cup of coffee with chocolate digestives. A lovely patina was there, and yeah, Lawnmower Jones was on tea duty. Just trying to fight with this screw. There you go, I think we've got it now, yeah. So that goes in. Like so. So we're getting there now. So that's one side, but you can see how far out we are on this side of the plate to go in yet. But that's because I want to bring up the whole cylinder together now. So I'm going to start by bringing in that 10mm bolt. Start to bring that in. Just a bit. See how far away we are. Alright, we're nearly there, so I'll get that one in. So that one should take. I'll put that one in. And before I put that one all the way in, I'm going to go back and just do up this 10mm. So that's all the way done and in. Very nice. And now it should be able to line up the bottom one on the back deflector plate. Just there. Yeah, so you always get chocolate biscuits when you go to Lawnmower Jones. And if you use the word Micks Mowers 01, you get a free cup of coffee with every repair. So tip that just a touch, just to get that screw in. It's just a little bit, there's been a little bit of a pickle. Just tip it up just so I can get it started. That's it, we've got to start it now. Yeah, Micks Mowers 01, free cup of coffee with every lawnmower repair. Right, that's doing up nice. There's one. There's two. Around this side. And be careful when you do this because this cylinder is really sharp now. Really sharp. Right, now we are back plate on, 10mm done up. All the bearings are now in place where they should be, and the bearings are all fine. We can now tip this back up onto its back, and we can now fully reinstate the bed knife. So by doing that up, that will squeeze that in nicely. That. Make it up nice and tight. So we're not going nowhere because we put some new nylon lockers there. So that's good. That little tiny cut bit there I showed you, that bit there, that bit goes on the end of the sleeve, and then the white gear will go on top of that a bit later on. So now, we can now test, get the bed knife down to level, and we can start to make sure it cuts paper. I know it cuts paper already because I've already seen Mr. Jones this morning. He was showing me how good it was this morning. I have a piece of paper here which we can use. You can use a single bit of paper. So let me get all set up. I'll be back to you in 2 seconds. Okay, so now we can start to adjust the cylinder, and I can pretty much see that this side is so high and this side is quite close. So I need to make sure I bring this cylinder down evenly. Okay, let me just show you that. As the blade comes down, you see the gap just like so. See that gap just here? Okay. Come over the other side, and you can see how tight that gap is there. It's not making contact yet, but that means this side has to come down first. Okay, so bring it down evenly. So just every time we sort of give it a couple of clicks, just double check the distance between the two. Okay, you want it to come down nice and square. So let's just bring this down a couple of notches. I can be quite ruthless with it to begin with, because I know it's nowhere near. We're coming down. We're coming down. Right, that is just about before point of contact. That's before point of contact, and the same this side here. If I can find the screw, here it is. So I'm going to just line it up with a bed knife. Right, so where I'm set now is just before point of contact, okay? And we can tell that because when we get our bit of paper, we won't get any type of cut through the system at all, okay? So now I'm going to bring it down roughly one click at a time. This is quite a long process, guys. No noise, and we're still getting no contact. I'll come down another couple of clicks. So we're starting to creep down now, but we're not there yet. Right, we've got contact. That was 2 clicks. I'm going to back that off one and do that one up one because we had contact. So we may not now be far off. Okay, I'll go 1 click and 1 click. We're nearly there. We're there on this side here. Look, watch. Oh, look how sharp that is. Look. It's not even funny. Mr. Jones. This one's one more. Let's try again. Oh my lord. So Mr. Jones, the mower man here, look at that. It's a bit more work. We're not quite there yet. We're nearly good here. Good there. We're not quite here yet. It's so close though. This one's one more. Nearly. Nearly. Oh yeah, definitely. It's starting to come down. I'll go one more here. Yep. 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 I want one more on this side here, I believe. That's not far out. I might just try one. Let's try that. I don't think it might have gone too far. Yeah, too far. I can feel it. So I'm going to back it off. One. So now we can see. I'll do it bit by bit. Cut. Not quite. It is cutting. Yeah, it is. No, it is cutting. Sorry, it's me. It might be the paper too. Yeah, cutting. Cutting. God, so sharp. Cutting. Cutting. So Mr. Jones, you've absolutely outstanded yourself. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. Paper's not quite the right shape. That's better. Let's take it into strips. Yes, 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 yes. Lovely. Mr. Jones, you are a professional. Good. So the cylinder is now absolutely beautiful, nice and sharp. So that is how you put your cylinder, or take them apart, get them sharpened, this, that and the other. I use Lawnmower Jones over in back end of Chichester in Fundington. Go and check him out. I will leave his links to his shop and his YouTube channel in the description. Go and check him out. I did get a deal on this, but he is very, very, very reasonable indeed. So go and check him out, because if you want to know how to sharpen up, he'll even give you a little tutorial. He'll tell you what the process is needed. You can't just put a new bed knife on here with a new cylinder. You've got to have them both ground, okay? So that's good. So the video was today on how to strip it down, get it sharpened and put it back together. I think I've achieved that, and if it has helped you out in any way, shape or form, then don't forget to subscribe to our Micks Mowers and Mower channel over here on YouTube. Where hopefully my videos do help you out. Now if they did help you, as I say, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you don't like the channel, say so and tell us the reasons why, or if you think I should be doing something different, then let me know, because all the back information I get does help me out. So that's cool. So there's a little episode from Micks Mowers and Mower and my very good friend Lawnmower Jones, who did my cylinder for me at a very reasonable price. He even gave me back my old one for the scrap pile, and I got a genuine, and I gave him a copy one back, so he was really happy with that. That's all. Don't forget to use the Micks Mowers 01 code to get free biscuits and a free cup of coffee or tea over at Lawnmower Jones's. That's guaranteed. And I should catch all you guys and girls on the next episode very, very soon. I hope you enjoyed this little video, Micks Mowers and Mower, and I'll see you next time very, very soon.